With us to talk about it all is Maria Melchior, epidemiologist, research director at the French National Institute of Health and Medical Research. Thanks for joining us here on France 24.
Thank you for inviting me.
The study harks back to previous surveys, which show that the French are among the biggest drinkers among developed countries, sixth according to OECD nations, according to their statistics. But that the numbers have gone down over the years. That's because of wine consumption. Overall, how does the picture look?
Just as you've said, France is still among the highest consumers of alcohol per capita in the OECD. But what's really gone down is daily drinking of wine and perhaps also other liquors. So overall, people are drinking less, and this is likely to have a positive impact on the overall health patterns. At the same time, what's also interesting is that binge drinking, which did tend to increase over a period of time, has tended to, it seems to have stabilized. And it does seem to be decreasing somewhat in young people, in middle school students, for instance.
How do you explain that?
Well, there are different things going on. First of all, cultural patterns of drinking alcohol have changed over time. That's why people are drinking less wine every day with every meal, although some people still do. And especially in some regions, such as the southwest of France, as the study shows, what's happening in young people is a general decrease in substance use, which may be related to the effects of the prevention campaigns that have been conducted for many years now, and also perhaps some changes in their habits. It has been shown that alcohol as well as tobacco and cannabis use are decreasing. It may be related to screen time use, for instance, among young people who now tend to spend more time on their screens, whether it's a smartphone.
So they're addicted to their screens instead of addicted to alcohol.
Well, at least they don't get together to drink as much as they did previously. They still do.
Because drinking was seen as something social in France.
Right, exactly. Well, it's the same in other places. It's the same in the United States and other countries. Teenagers drink socially. They drink together. They get together to have parties and drink sometimes too much. In France, they still do that. Almost 50% of high school students said that they've gotten drunk in the preceding month. In surveys of high school students. So that's still a lot.
One of the statistics that startled me from the health ministry, 10% of the population drinks 58% of the alcohol.
Yeah. Well, those people are probably those with alcohol use disorder. So if you go by the International Classification of Disorders, that means that these are people who have lost control over their alcohol use and who use alcohol despite health and social harms. So these are people who need treatment.
Meantime, we've had one man rebelling against dry January. I'm talking about French chef Alain Ducasse. He has announced plans to propose bottles of Burgundy and Bordeaux at knockdown prices and says he was, I'm horrified, as I think is the word he used, to see customers in New York during dry January ordering iced tea with their lunch instead of wine. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I think we drink a lot of wine still, and it's pretty cheap compared to other countries. So there are no needs to promote wine further, and it will still be part of our culture.
What's a normal amount of wine to be drunk? 1 glass a day, 3 glasses a day?
The current guidelines, according to WHO, are that essentially there is no zero risk with alcohol. Any amount of alcohol you drink will perhaps increase your risk of certain health problems and mortality. But if you stick to 2 glasses per day, not every day, that means less than 10 or at most 10 glasses of alcohol per week, but not more than 2 per day. The risk of health problems is relatively low.
Maria Melchior, many thanks for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.